You say, God has not shown himself to me and there's no proof of his existence. But the reality is you're looking for the TV version of God. You're looking for some mystical, magical creature that will just appear before you in a cloud, right? That's how you're looking for. But the reality is sometimes God shows up in the peace that you feel in the midst of your chaos. Sometimes God shows up in the strength that you have to go on, even when you're literally at your weakest. Sometimes he shows up in the drive-thru when somebody pays for your meal, when you were literally down to your last dollar. Sometimes God shows up in that employer hiring you for that position that you knew you didn't qualify for. God is showing up in us, for us, through us, and around us all the time. But the problem is you're looking for God in all the wrong places. You're looking for the TV version of God. You're not looking at God for who he is, your peace, your provider, the fact that you multiple times didn't know how you was going to pay your bills, and then somehow you were able to live on and pay those bills. If you search for God in the magic, and if you search for God in the mystical, and if you look at God like he's a genie, it's a wonder why you're always pissed off and you don't think that he is real. God is not a genie. And then also you expect God to push you past your pain. So you don't think that God is real, because if he was real, why do you feel this way? God's promise was never to push you past your pain, but to sit with you in the midst of your pain and to confront it with you. God is not one who backs down from confrontation. He wants to transform, change, make new, and take hold of a thing that is in your life. But you expect God to just snap his fingers and make your life all better. And when you ask for things from God, you expect him to do what you ask him to do, as if God responds to you and you're not supposed to respond to him. And whenever you feel like he's not answering fast enough, or he's not doing what you want him to do, you rebel. You go your own way because you think he's supposed to panic when you panic. You think he's supposed to move when you move. You think he's supposed to respond to the ache in your heart when you don't even respond to anything that he's ever asked of you. So my thing is this. Has God not shown the proof of himself? Or is it that you have a distorted perspective of what God actually looks like? You say there's no evidence for God, and yet you have a breath in your lungs that you did not participate in breathing. You did not participate in creating. You do not know how you're doing it. Subconsciously, you just breathe. And if at any moment that breath gets taken away from you, it is under none of your control to keep it. That alone is proof that God loves you, that you have breath in your lungs, that he is real. Because without that breath in your lungs, good luck. Stop looking for God the way you see God on TV, and look for God in all the details. How you get to breathe every day, walk every day, move and think every day. How your rent and your bills are paid every day. How you still have food to eat every day. How you still have peace in your mind in the midst of what you've been through every single day. God is everywhere showing himself. But have you actually looked for where he is?